Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for accepting my request and accepting to talk with me.
Pardon me?
Thanks for accepting my request and accepting to talk with me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
So I thought to introduce you to my audience.
Pardon?
I thought to introduce you to my audience.
Okay.
So can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Yes, my name is Geoffrey Porter. I write a lot of genre books. I specialize in kind of stuff that's not so much women's fiction, but more like war and revenge, stuff like that.
You're from?
Ohio, Dayton, or USA, Ohio, USA.
Okay, so you wrote books about war.
War, conflict, stuff like that. There's a lot of violence in my books. There's a lot of them have a lot of magic and stuff. Some of them are science fiction. They have a lot of advanced technology. So,
So writing books is your full-time job?
pardon?
Writing is your full-time job?
No, I don't actually have a job right now. I just kind of get by, and I try to write. I try to write a lot of stuff. I try and put a lot of time into it, but this is not really what I do for money. So
Okay, so what made you to become a writer and uh, why you are into the war stories?
um, when I first got started, I thought it was a way to make a lot of money quickly. Honestly, that's why I began. But once I started writing, I really fell in love with the process. Really fills me with a lot of joy, and I feel like this is my true passion in life. Like I enjoy doing this more than almost anything else I do. So, and I just keep plugging away at it because as long as I'm getting new ideas for new stories, I'm gonna write them. And becoming like a professional writer where I make a lot of money would be cool. But a lot of times that requires a monetary investment. You have to have money to make money, and a lot of times I just don't have the money to put into the writing to really make it professional. So that's the big limiting factor.
So where your stories are coming from?
I've got some short stories on my website, jeffreycporter.com, but all the novels are on Amazon. I don't publish anywhere besides Amazon right now. Um, I had books on some other platforms, but there just weren't the sales and the way the Kindle Unlimited works. If you have books on other platforms, you can't have them in Kindle Unlimited. And it's kind of a nice feeling to know that people in that program can just grab my books for free and read them, and it's part of their monthly package, and they don't have to really fork out a lot of money for my books.
So what is the first book that you wrote?
The first book I wrote was this zombie slayer book called Vampire Menace, but I changed the name to Zombie Flick because it's more zombies than vampires. They're kind of half breeds. In some ways they're zombies, in some ways they're vampires. So I just kind of narrowed it down to Zombie Flick, and that was like 18 years ago. So that was a long. That's been quite a journey. And I've edited that book. I've polished the book. I've cut stuff out of it. I've added stuff. I've never given up on that book. But the zombie genre is kind of dead right now. So
So we are talking about the book which you have wrote 18 years before,
yeah,
zombies and vampires.
I call it zombie flick, like a movie. Flick is a movie, so I call it zombie flick. But the zombies are kind of part vampire. It just depends on your perspective because they drink blood, but they're dumb. So they're not really vampires, they're not really zombies. So,
When did you publish it? Before 18 years?
pardon?
When you have published it?
I published it about 10 or 12 years ago. I didn't really keep track of it, you know. It wasn't perfect when I published it. It probably wasn't professionally edited, and it's really never sold a lot of copies. But it's got a handful of good reviews on Amazon. My friends who've read it like it, you know. So sometimes you just gotta kind of be happy with what you get, you know. And maybe someday it'll start selling or something. But for now, it's just on Amazon. And I revised it last year. You know, I went through last year, went through the whole book, did some editing, did some revision, added a few more thoughts here and there, a little more description. So it's not like I ever stopped working on it. So
So how many books you wrote in your life?
I believe 12 or 14. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's at least 12. So
How much time you take to write one book usually?
how much time do I put into it?
Yeah.
Generally not more than about an hour a day. I'm very I just do about an hour a day, and then my brain is kind of cooked and I don't want to do any more. You know, it's just actually about my maximum is about an hour a day. But you know, if you do that for 18 years, it starts to add up, you know. So
So you said about one book which is about zombies and vampire. What about other books? What is those books are about?
I have an epic fantasy series that starts with Juxta Magi. That's really my most popular book. It's got 24 reviews on Amazon, 4-star average. So I kind of consider that my flagship book. And right now, that series is a trilogy. I have another trilogy of books that are basically urban fantasy or historical fantasy that take place on Earth, but there's magic on Earth. And I have a military sci-fi series that's in space, that's got interstellar travel, war with aliens. The last series is my secret agent book. That's what I'm working on right now. And it's kind of like Men in Black, but there's actual blood, there's actual violence, there's actual sex, you know, so it's not all nerfed down like Men in Black. But the premise is about the same, you know. The main characters are dealing with these aliens and they're criminals, and they gotta arrest them, or if they can't arrest them, you know, stuff like that. So that's the main four series I've done.
So what is the best compliment that you got for your publications?
I think my best compliment. I have a friend named Geoffrey Brault, and he has read every story I've written, everything, literally. And his favorite book is that original book, the zombie vampire book. That's his favorite, and I think that's the best compliment I've gotten. Just because it's nice to know that this book is not a bad book, you know, that it's a good book, that people like it. So
Are you good in writing?
I think I am good at it. I think my struggle is with marketing, because if you're not doing marketing, you're not selling books. And I enjoy the writing. The writing is my passion, but marketing is pulling teeth. You know, I hate doing it. I'm trying to commit 1 hour a day to just studying marketing, doing marketing, putting stuff out there. But that hour a day is very difficult to find for me.
So so other than writing, what do you do?
I exercise a lot. I prepare a lot of my own meals. There's not much else involved, you know. I just don't. I used to build a lot of games and stuff, multiplayer online games. I used to do that with a lot of my time, but I haven't been doing that, you know. That's a fun hobby, but it's just difficult to secure a website. You know, the whole point is the game system is a website, but it's almost impossible to secure it from hackers unless you got security guys helping you and the hosting is helping. And there's just all this stuff involved in doing that. And I've just never had the resources to really pull it off.
So, what is working you to be happy?
Pardon?
What is working for you to be happy?
It's got to be the books, it's got to be about the books. It's got to be making money off the book. So,
Okay, so what is your favorite book?
pardon?
What is your favorite book?
Winner's Line is my favorite book. It's the middle book in the W series book. It's about this young man who loses his father to murder, and he goes kind of on this journey to study magic and learn magic, and he has a mentor along the way, and he does finally avenge his father. And it's one of my favorite books because I like that main character, and I like the interaction between that main character and his mentor. His mentor is kind of cool, and it's just a lot of fun stuff in that book.
So you are into writing from long time, right? So what you have learned and what is the change that you are observing?
Revision is so important. They really hit us with a revision stick in school when I was in school. And they felt in school that the revision process was so important, and it was so important to revise, plus the peer review part where you're getting feedback on the writing, then you're basing your revision on that feedback, and that has become so important to me. It's just so important to me to go back through the old drafts and polish them up and revise them, feather in a few thoughts, feather in a few descriptions. My first drafts are extremely skeletal. I write skeletons in the first draft. So I have to go through and add description, add thoughts, add details, and that is the important step for me.
So what is your favorite book that you read and that you cannot forget in your life?
That I've read, I'd have to say it's Armor by John Steakley. It's this military science fiction book, deals with these alien, basically ants and alien insect creatures, and the humans are fighting a war against these alien insect creatures. And the guys are running around in these mechanized suits, and it's about the mechanized suit and the armor, and it just resonates with me for some reason, and it's one of the few military sci-fi books that I've really enjoyed because the characters are so strong. It's not just battle after battle. There's a lot going on in the book besides just combat.
So you wrote 12 books, right? So what is your thinking?
Pardon?
You wrote 12 books, right, in your life.
Yeah.
So what is your thinking about it?
What is my thinking about it?
Yeah.
I just I feel like all the books are quality. I enjoy all the books myself, and it's about finding that right market. A lot of women's fiction is about relationships and sex, and that's most of the stories, relationship, sex, and ideally a lot of humor. And I don't write the same way because I'm writing about stuff like, combat and strong characters, and there's just more going on than relationships and sex. There's relationships and sex in mine, but a lot of times there's a bigger conflict. There's a global war. There's an alien war. There's stuff like that besides just you know. So
So what is the quality in your book that most of the readers of yours are liked in?
I couldn't understand the last word.
What is the quality that you put on your book and most of your readers like it?
I want most of my readers to like it. Right now, most of my readers do like it. I get more good reviews than bad. It's just a matter of getting it out there and getting people to start reading it.
So what special is there in you?
Pardon?
Why people should read your books?
That I don't know. I would like to believe that people would enjoy them, but they're so different from the mainstream. They're so different than what everybody else is writing, or most people are writing. There are a few people who write books like mine. So it's got to be something where they're interested in those strong characters. They're interested in the bigger conflict, where there's things like, interstellar travel. There's things like, just bad guys and good guys fighting them. So
Okay, so what is a bad quality of yours?
I have been known to release books before they're truly edited all the way. I've been known, my editor that I use is very wonderful, but it takes him a year to edit my book. So sometimes I'll release the book, and at the same time, I'll send it to him for editing. Then a year later, I update the book. That has probably hurt me so bad in terms of sales over the long term. That's probably one of the biggest reasons I'm not more successful right now.
So what is your experience is telling you now?
What are my feelings telling me?
No, what is your experience is telling you?
I still didn't understand you.
Your experience about writing. What is your experience is telling you?
Yeah, I'm on this new book. I didn't write for a couple of years. I just had a really long dry spell. But now I'm back in the writing game. And the thing that interests me the most is producing new books now that I'm getting my flow back, and focusing on the marketing. I got to spend that hour a day or so, even a half hour a day, pursuing the marketing, reading the marketing books, and just bashing my head against that brick wall.
So
So
there will be a lot of people who will be watching this video from anywhere on this planet on YouTube. So do you have anything to say about your books and about your writing about where they can get your books and all?
honestly, I hate to say this, but I feel like most of my books are geared more towards men than women. I have women beta readers. They love my books. I have women posting good reviews, but I feel like in my heart, most of these books are more kind of men's literature, because one in school a long time ago, my teacher was like, when he was in school, his professor said, men write about machine guns, women write about relationships, and my stories tend to have machine guns in them. So, whether that's good or bad, I hate to be sexist and be like they're not for women, because women love them. I mean, I don't. Women generally like them, but I think in truth, I'm secretly writing more for men. So,
So at last, have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
pardon?
Uh, I'll put all your links in the description of this video, your book links and your website. I'll put in the description of this video. People who finds a video on YouTube, they will find you and your books.
Okay, great.
And at last, have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
I have not, but I can check some out. Yeah, I haven't seen one.
Okay. So I want you to do what you love, and I want you to be very happy with what you are doing, and keep going. And I'm sure one day your book reaches many people in the world.
Thank you.
So, at last, any good words to the world?
A good. You say again.
Any good words, good message to the world who watches this video?
If I got to put a message on there, it's that marijuana should be legal. For a political message, I feel like the more people who stand up and say, marijuana is a harmless plant, It should be legal. It should be legal to grow it. It should be legal everywhere. Maybe we can get some movement on that. So,
Okay, so you're telling your opinion.
yeah.
Okay, fine. So, can I put this video on my YouTube channel on this audio and video clip on my YouTube channel, on social media, on internet, on my podcast everywhere with your permission?
Yes, I'm fine with that. Go ahead and publish it.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me your valuable time and explaining me about your books and about your publications and about your experience.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.